Welcome to YouTube channel, and today we are discussing about AWS Lambda. AWS Lambda allows you to run code without provisioning or managing any services. Designed for event-driven architectures, Lambda runs your code in response to triggers like file uploads, HTTP requests, or database updates. You only pay for the compute time your code consumes, built in 100 millisecond increments. Automatically automatically scales to match traffic volume, handling from a few requests per day to 1000 per second. Key features: event driven functions execute in response to events from more than 200 AWS services and SaaS applications. Multi language support, native support for Node.js, Python, Java, Go, .NET Core, Ruby, and custom runtimes. Automatic scaling instantly scales from 0 to thousands of concurrent executions without manual intervention. Cost effective, no charges when functions are running. Pay online only for compute time and number of invocations. Managed infrastructure, AWS handles all the server provisioning, patching, monitoring, and logging. How Lambda works: you upload your function code, configure triggers as API gateway, S3, DynamoDB, streams, or CloudWatch events. When the trigger event occurs, Lambda launches an execution environment and runs your function. Execution environments are stateless and isolated, but can access external resources, databases, and caches. Functions can be synchronous, request response, or asynchronous, event driven with retry logic. Lambda monitors your functions using Amazon CloudWatch, provisioning metrics and logs automatically. Supported event sources: Amazon S3, response to file uploads, deletions, and changes. DynamoDB streams react to changes in database tables, SN and SQS, process messaging queues and notifications. Amazon API Gateway build RESTful APIs with serverless backends, CloudWatch events and logs, automate workflows based on system or application events. Amazon Cognito trigger workflows or user signups and sign-ins. Common use cases: real-time image or video processing, serverless web applications, backend logic for APIs, authentication and database operations, data transformation, clean, filter and enrich streaming data before storage, scheduled automation, run maintenance, backups, report generation using cron-like schedules. Chatbots and voice assistants handle controversial logic triggered by user requests. Pricing model: 1 million free requests per month, $0.20 per million requests after free tier. Compute charges based on GB seconds, memory allocated per execution time. No charges when your functions are idle. Cost efficiency increases with short-lived event-driven workloads compared to always-on servers. Example architecture: when user uploads an image to S3 bucket, this triggers a Lambda function to process the image. Processed image is saved back to different S3 bucket. Lambda execution logs stored in CloudWatch for monitoring and troubleshooting. Benefits of AWS Lambda: no server management, no patching, scaling, or provisioning required. Seamless scaling from 0 to thousands of concurrent executions automatically. Pay as you go. Easy integration, works out of the box with most AWS services and many third-party SaaS providers. Improve developer productivity. Focus on writing business logic without infrastructure distractions. Limitations and considerations: maximum execution time. Functions can run up to 15 minutes per invocation. Stateless execution. No persistent state. Must be use an external stores like DynamoDB or S3. Cold starts. Initial invocation latency for infrequently used functions, especially in certain languages. Memory and CPU limits. Memory ranges from 128 MB to 10 GB. CPU scales with the memory. Testing and debugging. requires thoughtful tooling, especially for complex workflows. Real world examples are Netflix, Airbnb, Coca Cola. Summary: AWS Lambda is a fully managed event driven compute service, enables scalable, cost efficient execution of backend logic, ideal for microservices, automation, API backends, and real time data processing. Minimizes infrastructure, overhead, and accelerations development. Thank you.